Hi, good evening, everybody. I wanted to take a couple minutes to show you guys what we're working on tonight. I grew about 100 or so tomato plants for my garden this year. I actually need about 50 for my planting plan, but I wanted some extras in case I had some failures, which I did, and also to sell, because part of my strategy this year is to try and get as much plants out into the community to get everybody growing as I'm able to do. So one of the ways I'm going to multiply or propagate my plants this year is by cutting. And so anyway, get right into it. So a lot of these tomato plants I have, they're huge. Some of these are about 3 feet tall now. And tomatoes are a very easy plant to propagate by cutting. And I'll show you the little bumps on the stems there, those are called adventitious roots, or the start of adventitious roots. So these plants will really put roots all the way up the stem if they're exposed to enough moisture or soil with moisture. So anyway, I'll go over a quick little lesson on the plant parts on a tomato, and then I'll show you how I do these cuttings. So if you look at this, this is a brandywine. It's got the potato leaf on these, and basically you have a leaf and then a node. You know, a leaf, and then at the base of every leaf is a node. The leaf broke off here, but there's the node, and the nodes end up turning into shoots. So and then here's a big one. So this almost formed a codominancy here, but basically there is a leaf right here where my pinky is, and then this is a node that turned into a shoot. So that's a new top. And this side, my right hand's on, is the original top. And so anyway, what I'll do is I will just cut that side off, because I'm growing all single stem. Again, a lot of these are extras that I'm going to be selling. So now I've got this pretty large shoot. So what I'll do is I'll remove the excess leaves, because the leaves are going to require moisture through the stem to keep them with enough turgor pressure to keep them growing. So we want to reduce that burden, because there are no roots now. So and then the other thing I'll do is I'll shorten it a little. And if you cut at a steep angle of 45 or greater, that exposes more of that area for developing those adventitious roots. And so I would probably cut off one more, and then I might even cut off, a leaflet off of this upper one. You don't want to cut them all off, but you really do want to reduce that load, because it doesn't really need it. Another thing about cuttings is you want to keep them out of direct sunlight, because again, they don't want that. You don't want to put that burden of having to transpire water to cool the leaves. You really just want them to be able to grow new roots and not have that burden. So now we have this cutting, and it's kind of a large one, but with tomatoes, this is really pretty simple. And then I will show you my little, my aeroponic DIY rooting chamber, and there's tons of different models of these. This is a super simple one. So basically, it's a 5-gallon bucket. I drilled 7 holes in it, and then I put a sprinkler pump down in there. And so it basically, and it's got 4 or 5 inches of water in the bottom. And I'm sorry, not sprinkler pump. I put a aquarium pump in the bottom there with a little sprinkler head on it. And so the aquarium pump is submerged, and it just pressurizes this little sprinkler, and it spritzes water. So it's a great way to have really high oxygen levels and really high humidity and moisture on the roots. So anyway, I bought these net pots from a hydroponic shop. They're great. They're not necessary. You can also just use a pool noodle and cut it into little 1 or 2 inch rounds, and that'll work too. It's a little cheaper. So then I will just take my pool noodle round, and if I can find my cutting, and wrap it around it so a little bit sticking out there, and then I just shove it down in this little deal right here. So that's it. And about a day or two, and that will have roots. These things are really easy to root that way. If they're smaller shoots, it's not even necessary to do the little DIY aeroponic rooting chamber. You can just cut these little shoots off at the nodes, and something like that will shoot out roots in just a couple of days if you just put it in a glass of water. Again, any moisture on the stems of these and they will start to root. So anyway, if you have mature plants, it's a great way to multiply them, because starting from seed, it would take probably 2 months to get the size of some of these bigger cuttings, and I'll be able to have those in a couple of days. And then when I put them in a container with some potting mix, they'll fill that out, and I'll be able to sell it, I bet, within about a week and a half as a $5 tomato plant. So that's it. I just want to give you guys a little update, a little idea of a way to multiply your plants if you need to expand a little, or if you had some failures and you wanted to make better use of what you have left. Anyway, that's it. Hope everybody's having a good one, and we'll see you on the next one.